Oh, crap. Oh, well. All right. Let's get it. All right, we got 2 minutes till market open. Let's see what's going on here. All right, just been chopping sideways pretty much. Nothing on higher time frames to really worry about. 15-minute. Filled that gap down there. I think that gap was from, what was that? News. All right, let's kind of wait to see what happens here. Got a lot of pivot points. How this 5-minute candle plays out here. Bouncing off view up. Are those so we got pre-market highs. I think those all-time highs? No way. Holy crap, we're pushing all-time highs. Are we? Wait. No. 26,399. 26,399. Wait, what? $26,399. Okay, never mind. Never mind. Damn, that's wild. All-time highs on a 4-hour chart is $26,399. All-time highs on a 15-minute, $25,399. 15. My 15-minute is 5 days, so obviously it's not gonna be. It's just weird how. All right, do we have? All right, we got that 5-minute candle. Here it is. Mark it out. There's that 15-minute range. Now, we just took out. Oh, no, not yet. We got pre-market. Hold on, am I? Is my data? Oh, no, okay. $25,420. That data high candle is $25,420. Which would be pre-market. Wait, yeah. Damn, we had a long outage. For those of you who don't know, CME was down. And I guess they reopened at 8:30 because it looks like it went down at 9:40 at night. And then reopened at 8:30. It was out most of the pre-market session. Silver breaking out 30-year cup and handle pattern. Silver? So if silver and gold would be breaking out, then all right, we just swept that high, the data candle. Just took out data candle high. See what happens here. Getting sellers starting to step back in here. Huh. Coming back into the range, possibly. There's a close back into the range. Sellers being aggressive here. Sellers being very aggressive after taking out those data candles. Ugh. Oh, shoot. Let me grab my phone. Hold on. Crap. Give me a second. It's the second time already price ran without filling me in. Second time this week this shit's happened. Really wanted to this would have been the entry for me, but since price just ran directly to TP without giving me my entry, then ooh, it'd be that way sometimes. We just took out that low down there. Oh gosh, that sucks. Would have been a beautiful. Yeah, there's no shot. That 1 minute candle pretty much closed all the way down there. Took out those lows without giving me any entries or. That sucks, man. Alright, today may be just a chop type of day. I mean, we're just chopping sideways here after taking out those data candle highs, dropping significantly, now taking out these lows. Look at all the pivot points stacked on top of each other. Popping right back into the range. So, I mean, at this point, this was what I was initially looking for. Again, but sadly did not give me the fill I wanted. I wanted to get filled inside this gap right here. And it ran, entry would have been technically, right, the gap. TP would have been this low down here. So it would have been a 1-to-1. But I would have needed that pullback into that gap, into that imbalance. Without that, now we're closing to the opposite side, tapping right back into the range again. But, caught that short. If you caught that short, it's nice, right? That first red flag was right here. We took out data candle, seller stepped in immediately, and then once we closed back inside this range, you're kind of like, all right, we could possibly, you know, it's the first warning sign of when we close back inside this range that we're gonna possibly, that's why I was looking for a short too, but I really needed this gap right here for my entry. That's just my confirmation short. And the thing that sucks about that is sometimes you don't get your entry that you want because I'm looking for this gap instead of entering. That's my confirmation, this gap right here, that we're potentially going for those lows down there. And that's kind of the take, like, those confirmations are good to have because it protects you from fake outs and stuff. And at the same time, it kind of sucks on days where, you know, this is the second time this happened this week, I think, where, you know, it just kind of like, I got the confirmation gap, you know, I place my order in, and it just doesn't go to it just goes straight to TP without filling that gap in first. So, today I didn't place an order in, but, you know, last time I had an order sitting there, and once it pretty much, you know, takes out the lows, that gap is invalidated now for me, because now it could easily run through that gap and go for the highs. But as long as it stays inside this range without taking out, you know, these body candle lows down here, as long as it doesn't take that out, that gap is still valid. But as soon as it taps into here, that's it, that gap's invalidated for me. Now, right, tapping back into the range, and now kind of trying to move back down. We're pretty much right below view op. We're just chopping right at view op. View op's right above this 200, right where that pivot point is. View op chop. I might long if it taps into the unfilled 1 hour. There's a unfilled 1 hour? I thought I looked on the 1 hour. Man, these pivot points, like... Oh, I see. I see what you're saying. You're talking about this one right here. But, yeah. Damn, look at this bull flag. Holy crap, that's actually a... This is like a freaking perfect textbook setup bull flag right there. Just freaking broke out of that on the hourly chart. Yeah, I mean, we could. It could tap into that imbalance down there. You got to be careful, though. I mean, you're just below view. You'd be at way below view up there. So, you know, I don't think there's necessarily something wrong with, you know, going against, like if we're below VWAP, we're in bearish territory, taking longs below VWAP. You just got to be extra careful with your TPs and stuff, like where you're going to take profits. The last thing you want is to kind of go against momentum and get greedy and then get stopped out. Like, understand market sentiment. When we're above VWAP, we're typically bullish. When we're below, we're bearish. So when I'm longing above VWAP and I get a setup above VWAP, I'm more confident to hold, you know, to a higher target, or, you know, be more confident in holding a trade. Below VWAP, I'm especially super careful when I'm longing. PA surprisingly all right. Yeah, it's not bad. I figured price action is not going to be bad today. I mean, market's going to be open, what, all day, right? So we're just, you know, we could get some chop. I mean, I don't know if we're going to get any, like, crazy breakout moves or, you know, price starts ripping, which I don't even want that to happen, so. Is there an early close today, really? Let me check. Maybe. I honestly haven't even checked. I typically don't like trading early closes. If it closes early, I typically don't even. Because last holiday, I had traded last holiday I traded. It was a weird holiday. It was like Columbus Day or something, where like the market, I don't think it closed early. It was open all day that day, but it was a holiday, so price action was good. Typically, when the market closes early, I try not to really. But I think everyone's all right. All right, so no so Thanksgiving. Yeah, it just Thanksgiving closes Thursday. And then today's supposed to be good. Today's supposed to be an all day. So, market doesn't close early or anything. See, there was technically another setup here. I typically like to only take the first setup because I haven't back tested the second time it happens. Typically when it does that, I don't know the win rate on that. So I'm less likely to take something like this right here. Right there. Technically that's a setup too, but that actually worked out, but like it happened after the first one, so I'm not sure on the second time it does if the probability goes down or up. I'm assuming it goes down. So does it really? Where are you guys seeing market closes at 1? I just checked on the schedule. It says that it doesn't say. I don't see anything about it. All right, maybe you guys are right. Hold on. Oh, sure. Bruh. Oh yeah, you guys are right. Why doesn't it say it on the actual schedule? What the hell? Yeah, you guys are right. It does close. It closes at 1 p.m. Eastern time today, so I didn't know that. So it's all right. We'll still watch it. Price action isn't bad. It's not horrible, so I just wouldn't know because the CME had a massive outage pre-market, so I didn't know how that was gonna affect price action. Yeah, that's crazy, because I usually check that there's a schedule that you could check. They don't say anything on that schedule for about it closing early today. See, we're still in this 5-minute range here. I feel like just all morning long, it's just going to be chopped this morning. I don't think you have the big, you know, the volume that typically like a normal day is gonna bring in. So you gotta also take that into account. You gotta be careful with that, because if it doesn't, you know, if you think about it, if the market's closing early today, you're not gonna get the necessary volume from, you know, the big players, the hedge funds and stuff like that. And if you don't get the necessary volume and you're trying to go for some, you know, target that normally on a regular day, maybe it would have worked out, but on a day like today where it closes early, you have to be especially careful with your TPs, or just don't take the trade, or don't trade today, and just kind of watch price action. Nothing wrong with just watching price action and not placing a trade. I was willing to place a trade. I was looking for this gap, but it didn't give me the pullback I wanted. It went straight to TP without giving me any kind of a pullback. So glad to see the trade worked out, but it sucks that I didn't get an entry. Check trading view chart times. I don't have trading view. Well, man. TikTok live froze for me. Why did it? Really? Is it? Wait, is the TikTok live good or no? You may have to refresh it. You may just have to refresh it. Choppy and I can't hear you. Let me check. Did I call it? Is the sound gone? Hold on. Hello? Bruh. Ugh. That's crazy, man. All right, we're back. But I don't know. I think that's something with TikTok, man. I don't know why it's been doing, why it does that. All right, we're still chopping in this range. I'm curious to see if price. I feel like right now, I think right now it has a higher chance of going for these highs. I think we're in this range. I mean, we took out these lows. We're back above VWAP. Think it could push those highs again, but I don't think we're gonna get any displacement today. We're just gonna get these like taps, sweeps, dumps, dumperooskies. And a drop back down. See, this is what I'm talking about. I was thinking if it's smart to take this second one, but I feel like the probability goes down. If after the first one, I feel like the second setup, the probability just goes down on it. So if I would have entered, I would have just been stuck in chop right now. My TP would have had to been these body candle highs up there, which it didn't reach. So now you're just kind of like stuck in this chop sideways. Probably needing to like get out, break even here. But 1 p.m. Market closes at 1 p.m. Min off the 949 candle, tapping into the 2-minute IFEG. 2-minute. Let me see. Yeah, so this one. Yeah, just be careful with where your targets are. I would say don't expect anything crazy out of the market today. You know, don't expect some crazy move. If you do take a trade today, make sure you take base hits and be very patient. I'm always a base hit regardless if market closes early or not. I'm always, yeah. Oh, you need to just oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Just to take a trade. Bearish order block to protect my stop. Okay, yeah, that's smart. That's smart. I mean, for me, you're looking good as long as you're above VWAP. Once you start getting below VWAP, you got to be very careful. So we're like bouncing off VWAP right now. Once we start displacing below VWAP and really pushing down there, you got to be careful. I'm curious to see if we push. I mean, there is a chance we push. You know, we're above VWAP still, like I said. So we're in bullish territory. But I think, like I said, I think we're just going to get chopped for the rest of the morning. I mean, look, it's just been straight chop. Yeah, I'm out easily, like 100, take trade. Time for a coffee. Yeah, take base hits, take your base hits and walk away. I'm always a big proponent of base hits. I don't like trying to squeeze. Maybe for somebody else it may work, trying to take TPs, you know, trying to go for bigger moves and stuff. Obviously today's not smart for that, but just not even on a regular day, trying to go for bigger moves and stuff. I don't know. I just feel like taking base hits, you know, I can have a higher win rate, plus like somebody with, they're going to have a lower win rate. Yeah, they're going to have bigger trades overall, but they're also going to have more losing trades. So you got to ask yourself, do they really, is it worth it? It's almost December, PA. Yep. Man, this year is pretty much almost over, which is freaking crazy. I'm waiting for a month where I could just get like some good action for my strategy. I haven't been getting some. November's been tough for me. I've just been kind of hovering around break even for November, to be honest with you. I just haven't been getting the setups, and the setups I have been getting, they're just burning straight to TP without getting me filled. It is what it is. Sometimes you play defense. It's the part of trading where there are going to be times where your strategy doesn't work as good. And on those times, you got to play the defense. You got to play good defense in trading for the times when your strategy is going to be on fire, where you're going to get the price action, you know, that's perfect for your strategy. And then you got to really hammer it down then. If you don't, if you take stupid trades, then all you're going to be doing is making back losses when it's actually really good. So that's why, like, my risk management strategy, yeah. See you next time. My risk management strategy is very, like, I tend to risk in the beginning more per trade, like be very aggressive. And this is all based off my data. This may not work for another strategy, but I do have size. And that's to protect myself. So by doing that, what I'm trying to do is I'm wanting to make my equity curve, right? The winning periods are steeper than the drawdown periods. So my goal is to make my drawdown periods very gradual, and then my winning periods very steep to the upside. And the way I do that with having a 1-to-1 risk to reward base hits is, for example, let's say based on my data, I don't take more than, 3 losing trades in a row. Right? So if I take 3 losing trades in a row, I half size on the 4th trade. And if I take another 2 losing trades in a row, and this is like this is very unlikely to happen, but I'm just saying worst case scenario. Another 2 losing trades, I half size again. And so in order to upsize, I have to make back 2 half-size losses to be able to upsize again. And if I make another 2 upsize losses, I upsize back to 10. So you can see how it works when I'm going through drawdown and I'm on the downside. I'm protecting. I'm halving my risk. So it goes half, 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 and I keep halving my risk just in case I'm on some kind of losing streak. And then when I'm on a winning streak, I'm going back to that aggressive risk. So that's how my equity curve can grow exponentially to the upside and have these very shallow pullbacks. And my win rate's actually pretty good. I mean, my win rate's, because of November, it's been kind of slow. It used to be at 80%, and it probably dropped to about 70% because of November. I've been just chopping November, but, so just playing the probabilities game, and that's pretty much all trading is playing that probabilities game. You're essentially a risk manager. The better the risk manager you could be in trading, where you can really play this game, and it's like, you think about poker. It's like when somebody has a hand in poker and they know the percentage chance of them, winning that hand, they're going to go aggressive in. Not saying for you to go aggressive. Obviously, everybody's strategy is different. So it's like, that's the hard part about trading. My risk management strategy works well for my strategy. It may not work for someone else's strategy. It may be complete trash for someone else's strategy. And I'm also a trader. I don't take, a crazy amount of trades. That also plays into it. I'm very patient. So me being super patient, I can be more aggressive per trade versus the person that tries to take 3 trades per day. They have to really size down to allow themselves. Did you even know the CME was down? Yeah, I knew the CME was down. They're back up. Yeah, they had some kind of glitch, something that happened, I guess, in the data center. Some glitch, some kind of crap happened, and yeah, CME, it was down for a while. I think you can actually even see it when it was. I mean, you look right here. This is a 1 minute chart. Right here. You see it happen right there. Right there. It went down. This 1 minute candle, 9:45, it stopped. And just look at that. There's no action past 9:45 at night. And then 8:30 this morning is when it opened up. So from 9:45 till 8:30, it was down, which is freaking, that's a long time for something to be down. But good thing it was just pre-market, so it's not, you know. I was getting ready. I was getting ready to come to the office, and then I saw that news that the CME was down pre-market, and I was like, crap, is it still down? Because if it's still down, is it worth even trying to go and start trying to trade? And then I saw it was back up, so. So price is kind of, I mean, very choppy right now, man. This is wild. We'll probably have some good Cyber Monday. Probably good some good deals will come out for Cyber Monday for prop firms. So if you're thinking about buying an account or something, I mean, I would probably wait till Cyber Monday, because some of these prop firms may come out with some crazy deals on Cyber Monday. Apex has a pretty good deal going on right now. So I don't know if Apex is going to have any better deals than they do right now, but there will probably be other platforms that have some good deals going on. Is the day after Thanksgiving usually a tough day to trade? Yeah, you just have to, you have to understand the market condition. I was willing to look for a trade, and I did get a setup this morning. I did get a setup right here, but I didn't get the fill. It pretty much, I got the setup, and it ran straight to my TP without any kind of pullbacks. So you just have to understand the market you're in, right? If you're trying to trade a market where it's closing, you know, at early, you got to understand that it's not going to move, you know, it's not going to be this, like, most likely it's not going to move to one direction and have these displacements and start ripping to the upside. Most people are hands off. Most people, you know, most hedge funds aren't, you know, nobody's getting into a massive position right before a weekend. And so you just got to understand the market sentiment you're in. The best thing probably to do is probably just, you know, either be very careful, understand the risk you're taking if you're going to take a trade, understand, and be willing to take that risk, understand that there could be a lower possibility. That's the thing with bank. Okay, here's the thing, right? Let me move this sideways. Right? Everyone, you'll hear one person say, don't trade during bank holidays. You hear another person say, trade during bank holidays. Obviously, yesterday would be a completely stupid day to trade during a bank holiday. There was no volume whatsoever yesterday. So it's like, you could trade, and yeah, you can catch a winning trade. I've caught winning trades on bank holidays before. But you got to also ask yourself the question of your strategy, unless you're like a hyper scalper where you're trying to go for like 10, 20 point moves. I'm talking about the average trader that goes for highs and lows and certain levels. They're not just getting 10 point moves. Talking about the trader that actually kind of, without non-super scalper, hyper scalper traders. You got to understand that the probability goes down when there's no volume because of a bank holiday, because of something happened. When there's no volume, the probability goes down for your strategy. Because if you don't have the volume to get your, for like example, you enter off a strategy and then you don't have the necessary volume for price to push up to the high that you're targeting, price isn't going to push there. You can't force price. If there's no volume, price isn't going to go there. Which on a regular day, maybe that strategy would work perfectly, right? You would get your entry, it would push to your TP, and boom, you take profit because the volume is there. But on a day like today, you may not get the volume, and either you could be stuck in chop like this, stuck in sideways chop, or you take a loss. Or you get lucky and take a win, but you have to ask yourself, if the probability of my setup working goes down, is it worth taking the trade? And if the answer for you is yes, then size accordingly. Maybe size down, half size, whatever. But protect yourself and understand that the market you're trading in. Is the sell on 5-minute NASDAQ valid? It looks like a 15-minute. Is the sell? I would be careful when we're above VWAP. I would be careful with shorts. Not saying it's bad to take a short. Just like when we're this close to VWAP, it's not the smartest thing to do to take a short, because you understand VWAP right there. There's a lot of support, and you can see there's a lot of support at VWAP. Look how many times it's been bouncing off VWAP. VWAP is a very big support level when we're above it. So be very, very careful if you're trying to short above VWAP, especially when we're right above VWAP. Like when I'm like for this trade right here, when I was trying to get an entry up here, I would have been out probably before VWAP. Since VWAP is like right above that level, I would have taken profits earlier because I understand we could bounce. So I'm careful with my TPs. Where VWAP is, I pay attention. You just don't want to try to short and then expect price to break VWAP and displace below VWAP. They needed time to print money. Yeah, they closed down to print some more money. I don't like the live trailing drawdown on Apex. Yeah, it kind of, I mean, depends how you trade, right? It is kind of you gotta take your trades. You can't let a trade run up, you know, say $1,000 in profit or $500 in profit, and then all of a sudden go back and stop you out. Like, it's meant for, like, you gotta take base hits almost. And if you do leave runners, you gotta be careful. You could take 90% off and leave a runner. So just in case it stops you out, break even doesn't really hurt you with the trailing drawdown. For me personally, it doesn't bother me because I do take base hits. So I'm super rarely would be in a situation where it, you know, almost hits my TP and then stops me out. That's like a very rare scenario. Does happen very rarely, but very rarely. So like, it doesn't really hurt me because I take base hits. If that's something that really affects your strategy, then go with a prop firm or go with an account that doesn't have a trailing drawdown. If that's something that really affects you. Thinking about going with TPT or Apex since the new top step payout rules. Yeah, I would. So I don't like to go with. Ever since I was gonna get Top Step and start trading their accounts, but ever since they opened up their platform and you like had to trade with their platform, all this like BS, I just didn't. I don't like that, so I never went to use them. Yeah, and their payout rules, they changed it. Kind of sucks. I don't know why they're doing this. They're trying to like, they're almost like stabbing themselves in the back by doing that, by pissing off people. But yeah, Apex is good, TPT is good. I mean, both have their own benefits, so you just have to weigh the benefits of each one and then see which one works best for you. Or you can have one account there and one account there. That's, I mean, I trade them all. I trade my TPT accounts and Apex accounts, so I like the day. I went with TPT because I like the daily payout rule thing. If you can actually get above a certain buffer zone, above that buffer zone, you can start taking daily payouts, which is pretty cool. Glitch my ass, money printing. Bro, how much money did they print if they needed how many hours? From 9:45 till 8:30. Let's call it 10 o'clock. So from 10 o'clock till 8:30, bro, those printers were running nonstop. Funny how it got fixed before market open. Yeah. I wonder why it took them so long. I almost thought, I read somewhere it was like an overheating thing. Like something overheated or something. Let me actually try to read up on it. I think it was like an overheating thing, so they... Yeah, a cooling problem. I mean, that's what they're saying. I don't know. So it says that... Where is it? Where is it? The glitch. Data center glitch. Man, it doesn't say. But yeah, they're pretty much saying CME Group said all its markets were back up and up after trading. Data center cooling problem led to widespread outage. Lasted several hours. CME blames outage on a cooling failure at data center. Cooling issue. So, I guess... Says I have some kind of performance issue on my live. You're trading today. I was looking for a trade. I got one set up, but it didn't give me the entry. So, performance issue to try turning off enhance to improve live performance. Yeah, I don't. What the hell? They shut it down on purpose. Well, I mean, I don't think they shut it down on purpose. What benefit would they get by shutting it down on purpose? I think the data center really did have probably some glitch. I mean, it does happen once in a while. It does happen. I mean, you get some glitches in the CME, or this is why you have to be careful. And is Mumu a good broker? I mean, I've never used them. I think, what's his name? Nor Trades uses them, so I don't know. He's partnered with them. So, I've never used them, so I can't really tell you if they're a good broker or not. I mean, if he's backing them, I would assume that they're a good broker if he's, you know, partnered with them and backing them. I don't know why he would put his reputation on the line for something that's not a good broker, but... I mean, me personally, I just go with the most popular ones. I go with the most popular ones to kind of, to not have issues. Alright, so, alright, give me a second, hold on. I think TikTok's having some issue. I don't know. I think it's TikTok. I don't know why it keeps going down like that. And I am using I am one of the few people that have TikTok Studio for Macs. I'm in the beta program, so that could be a part of a reason too. There could be glitches here and there because this hasn't even been released to everyone. This is still a beta program thing that I'm in. So but we should be good now. But yeah, we're stuck. We're stuck in this range. That's why I said earlier, be careful. I wouldn't expect any big moves today. I'm kind of glad I didn't take the second one right here. I would have just been stuck in this sideways crap right here. It may work out. I mean, it seems like we're still bouncing off of view ops, so I think those highs could get taken again, but and you can kind of see even on the even on higher time frames. And look what's going on, man. We're just look at this crap. What is this? What is this? Sideways. We pretty much filled that gap from the data outage. So you had this gap that was left from the data outage, and it pretty much came in, filled that gap, and we got wicks off that gap on a 15-minute. Filled that gap, took out these lows down here, and then ripped up. Stay alive. Do not blow your accounts. If you have the urge to trade, walk away. It's one skill that needs to be learned. People need to learn this skill of being able to hop on the charts and not take a trade. Productivity in the markets does not mean you have to take trades. If you get your setup, that's different. But please, for the love of God, do not be those people that freaking just take random trades and think that they could just... I heard this, so I listen to a lot of trading podcasts. So you have Titans of Tomorrow, and then the Words of Wisdom podcast. I listen to both of them, so I listen to a lot of trading podcasts with them. So I heard this dude the other day. And he mentioned something along the lines of discretionary trading. And I don't get it. I really don't get how somebody can trade discretionarily. I don't. Because if in the market, if you are trading probabilities, right? That's all you're doing when you're trading in the market. You're trading probabilities. And if you don't know the probabilities of what you're trading, so how are you supposed to be a good trader if you don't know the probabilities? I just don't get it. I mean, I'm not saying somebody can't be successful with discretionary. I just feel like you're opening up a door that is a very dangerous door. Because you think about it. Look, if you trade discretionarily, right? You're relying on your intuition fully to take trades. And you got to understand that if you take a loss and you start to get pissed off, your discretion could be blocked out. Like your discretion, you cannot think clearly. You can start going on tilt. You start, you start going on tilt. You start taking more trades. And you're like, well, I'm just trading discretionarily. But in reality, you're digging yourself in a hole because you're not realizing that your emotions are controlling your discretion now. Your emotions are affecting your discretion. So I don't get it. I don't get how somebody could say that they trade like, discretionarily. I don't. When I have a system like I do with mine, like with my strategy, I have a system. Doesn't matter if I have a bad day, a good day. I can come in and I could spot that trade. And I don't have to let my emotions control me. There is no emotional aspect. There's no risk of me over trading because I typically, I don't take more than one trade per day on my actual accounts. So I can't go on tilt. So I can't, that goes out the window for me. It's impossible. As long as I follow my rules, it's impossible for me to tilt. So I can come in pissed off and I can have a bad morning and still execute my trade because it's very systematic. I know what I'm looking for. I can come in sick and I can still execute my trade. So my emotions don't control my trading whatsoever. The only thing that I pay attention to is data. And if I keep track of my data and stuff starts shifting, then I have to take a step back. And I just think that's like, I don't know. I feel like that's all trading is just, it's statistics and data. You have your data and you have your statistics and you trade based off of that. And if you're trying to take a trade, if you haven't back tested it and you don't know the results behind the back testing or the data behind that trade that you're trying to take, then why take something you don't know the outcome of, the probabilities at least? Like, what if you're trying to take a setup that has a 20% win rate and you don't know how to properly execute that setup? 10 hours to cool down a modem. Well, I don't think they have just one modem. I'm thinking they got a massive warehouse full of freaking. And I think I don't know, are they water cooled or no? It's an interesting question, actually. If they aren't. Okay, yeah. So why would it? I don't know why it would overheat. So it says yes, many data centers use water cooling. So there must have been a glitch then. If it's water cooled, there must have been some kind of glitch that still caused it to overheat. I don't know. What do I know? I ain't some data center engineer. The price action trumps all other actions. Yeah, exactly. Price action is king. Especially when and here's the thing, when you backtest the strategy, when you backtest something and you know the results behind it, it gives you confidence to execute the strategy. So you're not sitting there like, I remember when I used to learn how to trade, I would sit there like scared to take an entry. Because I wouldn't know. Like, I'm trying to, like, I'm looking at him like, oh, it's going up, it's going up. Should I take this? Like, should I buy long right here? Should I, and you start getting scared to execute the trading. But when you have the data behind something you've already, you have the data behind it, you're more confident to execute because you know the results behind it over the longer term. And then when you take a little bit of a loss, it doesn't really affect you. And same thing, here's another thing. Here's another thing with probabilities in trading that a lot of people don't understand. And this is the trap some people fall in. So based on your win rate, you're going to have a certain amount of losing streaks you go through, right? Even a 60-70% win rate over the course of like 100 trades, you could go through a 5 losing streak, 4 losing streak. Like the probability's there. Or let's take hypothetical, for example, like a 50% win rate. A 50% win rate, the probability of you going through like 5 losses in a row over the course of like, say, 100 trades is probably around like an 80% win rate. 80% chance you're going to hit 5 losses in a row with a 50% win rate over the course of 100 trades. And you need to know those data because you don't want to be the person that you go through a losing streak. Say you take a loss, then you take another loss, then you take another loss, then you take another loss, and you're thinking that your system is broken. And now you're starting to look for another strategy when in reality, your data is just playing out and you're just in this like rare period where you're just going through this drawdown that eventually will happen. And that's why you got to protect yourself. That's why I have my sizing down rules. That's why, and that all depends on your win rate, right? Your win rate, how many trades you take, all that matters. I like data too, but it's a lagging indicator because it's produced from price action. No. When I say data, what I mean by data is I mean your own data. So by data, I mean like my data. When I journal my trades, I know based off of my data, how many losing streaks have I gone on? Like, I know based off my data, I don't take more than 2 losing trades in a row. I know based off of my data, this happens and this happens. So this is my own personal data from the trades I've already taken. So that's what I mean by data. And that's a thing, yeah, that's a big thing I think not enough people pay attention to in trading. You gotta, I know I say this so many times, but like, I think it's so important. And if you want to be a successful trader, and the sad part is, right, a lot of the stuff you see on social media, I'm gonna just keep it 100 with you. A lot of the stuff you see on social media, it's not like the best advice. The way most people trade on social media with prop firms, yes, that kind of thing works for prop firms, but I can guarantee you, if something was to happen with prop firms, let's say tomorrow, all the prop firms go down. If all the prop firms go away, I guarantee you, 80 to 90% of all the social media trading influencers you see would not be able to make money anymore. Because what they do with prop firms will not work on a live account. Yes, it does work with prop firms. They rinse those accounts. They get those payouts, right? It is what it is. That's cool. But that same thing does not work for a live account. So you got to keep that in mind. When you are a person learning, my opinion, you don't want to be learning bad habits. Could you get, theoretically, you have money, could you rinse these accounts and get a lot of payouts and just kind of go with it? Yes, you could. But at the same time, you got to ask yourself the question, do you want to build habits? First of all, do you actually want to be a good trader? Do you actually want to be the few people who actually succeed in this industry? I'm not talking about prop firms. I'm talking about actually being a good trader. And to me, what a good trader is being able to have a proven track record. So if you can show me brokerage statements and you can say, hey, look at this. I had a $5,000 account and over the course of this amount of time, I took this $5,000 account and now it's at 50K and I'm still growing this 50K account so you could see a person's track record based off their that's a good trader. Showing me some payouts here and there does not mean you're a good trader. That just means, you could have got lucky. You could have, you can't, You can't just take, like you do with prop firms, where you take a payout and then you blow your account and it's all good and you can just reset, right? And pass the evaluation and then get funded, get another payout. Right? In a live market, you can't have a $10,000 account, run your $10,000 account to 15K, take a $5,000 payout, and then blow $10,000. Like, really? That's not really a profitable system in the live market. And me personally, right? I'm looking to be actually a good trader. I'm looking to have a track record behind me. That's why I'm super patient even with these prop firms, because I'm building good habits. I'm building good habits so that, like I said in January, I'm starting a live account, and I'm trying to run up that live account as much as I can. And so I'm building the necessary discipline right now and the patience so that when I do copy trade my live account with my funded accounts, it's a smooth transition that I don't have to worry about. I don't have to stress about. It's just like, I pretty much just do what I've been doing the whole time. And I've proven that it works for myself. A good trader is a disciplined trader with a plan. Yeah, exactly. If you don't have a plan, you're the same thing as a business like Walmart running with no software management system, with no data behind it. Like that business, you take away Walmart's management systems and they would crumble so freaking fast. And same thing with you. If you're trading without data and without any kind of journaling or anything, I mean, you're going into a casino and you're doing the slot machines. That's all you're doing. You could get lucky here and there, take some payouts here and there, yeah, but in terms of actual professional good trading over the long term, I don't think it's gonna happen if you don't take it seriously. If I have a prop firm and pass the eval, do I still have to come out of the pocket for some account every month? No. So like with Apex, for example, you have your evaluation and then you have your activation fee. So based on, like, right now they're having the sale, it's like a $40 activation fee. So the activation fee is different based off if there's a sale or not. But typically they have, like, my accounts that I have with Apex, my activation fee is a lifetime fee that I paid. Make sure with Apex you pick the lifetime fee, not the monthly fee. There are two different ones you can pick. So when you pick the lifetime fee, right, you go to put it in a funded account and you don't pay any more, like a subscription every month. Same thing with my Take Profit Trader accounts. When I passed those accounts, there was no activation fee with Take Profit Trader. So once I passed my evaluation, I got put in a funded account. I don't pay per month anymore. So I'm trading now funded accounts without any monthly payments at all. So you only pay them when you're doing the evaluation. But like I said, be careful with Apex, because Apex does have that option where you could do it monthly. You don't want to pick the monthly, you want to pick the lifetime. Are you in a trade? No, I'm not in a trade. I had gotten a setup earlier, but did not get the entry. It ran straight to TP without giving me an entry. Asia can't trade if CME is down. Yeah, I think, yeah, so it was down for, what, London, Asia session? I don't know how it affects, I mean, yeah, we can't trade Asia. It was down from 9:40 till 8:30, so pretty much all night long it was down. But you can lose the whole account. Yeah, with prop firms, yeah, you lose the whole account. If you get put in a funded account and you blow that account, you have to go back to an evaluation and pass an evaluation account. That's why I'm like, be careful with your sizing. And again, your sizing is going to depend on your data. Like, that all depends on your win rate. If you have a low win rate and you go for bigger trades, you have to allow yourself for more drawdown. Versus me, I take base hits. I take base hits 1-to-1. I have a pretty decent win rate, so I can size up per trade, but take less trades. So like something like a risk management strategy that works for me will not necessarily work for you in your strategy. You have to have a risk management strategy to protect your accounts, because I mean, unless you want to be the person that tries to rinse accounts every time, but me personally, that's not what I go for. So I want to keep my funded accounts as long as possible, because I don't want to go through, you know, trying to pass evals again. Is market working? Yeah, the market's up. They had restored the CME at like 8:30. Is there drawdown after you pass? Yeah, the way it works is so your drawdown typically stops. It's like your full drawdown plus $100, right? So like for example with Apex, if you have a $2,400 drawdown on a $50,000 account, you have to kind of make that drawdown. So after $50,000 account, so you have a $2,400 drawdown. After $52,500, so it's that $2,400 plus 100, your drawdown ends up stopping at that point. And then all the money you make after that, your trailing drawdown stops. I actually gotta check if you still have an end of day drawdown. I'm not sure if you have an end of day drawdown. I think your full, from what I understand, I think your full drawdown stops there. So you can actually, there's a level where you can actually build a buffer. When your drawdown stops, and then you can build that big buffer if you want. So that would be the ultimate goal, right? You build that buffer so that when you take a payout, you're still in that buffer zone to work your way back up. Some people like to leave an extra buffer so that when they take a payout, they still have a pretty decent sized buffer, and that protects their accounts long term. What do you mean you have to do it yourself? Bad trading week, down a lot. I hate this part of trading. Yeah. That's why I say you gotta journal your trades. You gotta every trade, you gotta make sure you realize what you're doing wrong. Like, I don't think there should ever be a point in trading where you're like down such a crazy amount that it takes you forever to make it back. So you have to have rules for yourself, and the rules, you gotta understand, the rules in trading that you make for yourself is not to hinder you, it's to protect you. Because every single strategy is gonna have hot streaks and it's gonna have dry streaks. So obviously the hot streaks are easy to trade because you feel like you're on top of the world. You're taking trade after trade and making money, and you feel like you've cracked the code. And then you have dry streaks too, where you feel like your system isn't working anymore, but that's not necessarily true. It's just the market condition you're in right now may not be, you know, perfect for your strategy. So in those dry streaks, you got to understand and possibly size down and protect yourself for the times when you have those hot streaks, so that, you know, you can really go up on the hot streaks, and on the dry streaks, you're protecting yourself. And that's part of trading, of being, you're essentially, as a trader, you're a risk manager. The better risk manager you could be, the better off you're going to be. And it's like, you can have the perfect strategy, but if you suck at risk management, then it doesn't really matter. Because if you make profits, if it takes you, you know, let's just say a whole month to make a certain profits, and then you blow a whole month's worth of profits in one day, well, that's just being a bad risk manager. And you got to understand that you're going to have drawdowns. It's probabilities. You're going to have drawdowns. Even with a high win rate, depending on your win rate, that'll depend on how much of a drawdown you go into. But biggest thing is try to figure out what you did wrong if you did something wrong. Did you follow your plan? Did you overtrade? If you overtraded, limit yourself to amount of trades you can take and size according per trade to amount of trades you're allowing yourself. And understand that the market's gonna open. Like today's what, Friday? Market's gonna open back up Monday. Like it's fine. It's not. This isn't a get rich quick scheme. Like this takes time to build your account, to get to that level, like to protect yourself over the long term. You don't want to set yourself back and blow your account. Now you're trying to pass an eval now, and you got to think about it. You're trying to pass an eval, and then the time you were trying to pass an eval, if you were just protecting your account, you could have been at a payout. So down to 49,000 on my 50K after going to 51,000. Could be worse. Bad feeling right now. Yeah. Now, right? If you did that, make sure set rules for yourself. You have to set rules for yourself. And I can't tell you what rules to set. You know, some people have, like for me, my rule is typically I don't take more than one trade per day. So I look for that high quality setup per day. So I'm looking for that perfect setup for my strategy to take one trade per day. So you got to make the rules that make sense for you. Here, give me a second. I'll be back. All right, but yeah, like I was saying, rules in your trading are there to protect you. It's not to hinder you. Don't look at it as something like, oh, rules, it's gonna, you know, I'm not gonna be able to do this, and I'm not gonna be able to. Yeah, it's there to protect you. Just like a business has rules, it's there to protect the business, not to hinder the business. What do you look for when you take a trade? I look for pretty much, so the first 5 minutes of market open, like 20 to 30% of the market volume in the day is conducted within the first 5 minutes. So that being said, what I typically like to see from my setup, I like to see fake outs. So a lot of people trade orbs where they look for the breakout and then a retest for a continuation. I do the opposite. I wait for fake outs. Like what happened today, this was kind of a trade that I look for every day, but again, I just did not get the entry. When the market does this, see on a 1 minute chart, so these two lines I have marked out are 5 minute high and 5 minute low. When the market breaks out like this and closes above that 5 minute range, and then fakes out and closes back inside the range like it did there, and then it leaves a bearish gap inside the range like this, that's a sign for me that we could go lower, right? That's screaming to me, we failed to hold above the 5 minute range, we broke back into the range, enough sellers aggressively stepped in to leave an imbalance there. So what I try to do is, once that imbalance forms, I like to take entries off that imbalance to the next area of liquidity. So that being said here, as you can see, that imbalance did form, but it went straight to the TP area where I would have. So once it takes out this low, comes back up, this is invalidated now, right? This entry is invalidated now. And as you can see, right, price now moved all the way up. So I did get a similar setup here. I mean, this trade ended up working out. I did not take this trade because I just don't know the probabilities of the second setup happening. But similar thing happened here. Just a choppy market where you got to close outside. You got this bullish gap form. Look what happened, right? Bullish gap formed. Price came back, tapped into this bullish imbalance, and then went back up. And now it's hitting the highs again. So kind of what I look for, similar setup like this. And that's pretty much what I look for every day. Very systematic, very, you know, I know exactly what I'm looking for. There's no guesswork. There's no me, you know. And it's, you know, it's been working good for me. Now, that being said, it is a harder system to trade. You don't get setups every single day. That's the problem with this kind of strategy is you have to be patient. You do not get setups every day. So we have the same strategy. Are you serious? Nice. I honestly don't know if other people use that strategy. This strategy, I did not find from anyone. This strategy, I came up with, I just saw it myself. I came up with it myself. I'm not saying I invented the strategy because that's like I mean, the market's been around for so long. I'm sure somebody else has noticed it. But I did not see some YouTube video or something of somebody trading that strategy. I was backtesting another strategy, and during my backtesting, you know, I saw patterns and I realized something, and then I kind of just started to backtest it for 2 months of backtesting, and I realized, I'm like, holy crap, this thing actually, like, for the past 2 months, the strategy worked really well. Now, you don't get a setup every single day because you look for something so specific, but, you know, it worked for the past 2 months. Then I forward tested it, and I passed my evaluation accounts with that same strategy, and now I just, like, I'm at the point of, like, I have that strategy, and if it works, it works. Why change it? Now, I'm saying, like, there may be a time where it may stop working as well. I may need to make some adjustments based on the market structure. Who knows? Maybe I need to eventually, based on market structure, not take it off gaps, but take it off the entries into the imbalance, or start looking at volume. But as of now, if it's working, no reason to do anything. Trump dog walking Powell? What are you talking about? What happened? But it looks like a hindsight 2020. Hindsight 2020, but it looks like I should have taken that second setup. But I don't know. I just felt like it's just not, according to my rules right now, I take the first break in. I don't take the second one, so even though it did work out, but I ain't mad, I guess, that I didn't take it. I wish it would have happened. I wish this first one would have worked out. Gave me an entry, I mean. But I am glad to see, I mean, you can see that it works. The strategy is there, so it does give me, like, I am happy to see that it worked out, even though it didn't give me the entry on the first one, and the second one I didn't take, but. What time do the markets close today in California? 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock for you California people. Are you Eastern European by chance? Yes. Yes, I am Eastern European. How did you know? Oh, okay, yeah, that's true. My name. I forgot to have my name up. Yeah, actually, English was my second language, believe it or not. All right, we took out these highs now. And as you can see, look what's happening now. Price is trying to hold this 5-minute range. If this thing starts breaking out, I'd be impressed. Bouncing off the 5-minute range high. Look at this 5-minute. I'm telling you, man. Look at the 5-minute range. Look at that. Tested the high. Tested the high. Tested the low. Tested the low. Tested the low. Broke out. Broke back in. Tested the low. Broke out of the high. Now it's testing the 5-minute range high. Bro, I'm telling you, like... What more do you need? What more? 5-minute range, bro. It tells you so much about the market. I think it's one of the best, like, it's not an indicator, but I think it's better than any indicator that you could use. Other than VWAP. VWAP is good. But, bruh, literally, I mean, literally 20 to 30% of market volume is conducted within the first, like, 5 minutes. So, that's the theory behind it. When you have so much volume conducted in a certain area, that's why I say, like, when price fails and breaks back in, or when price breaks out, displaces, and holds, look at it. It's holding the 5-minute range high now. And it's pushing back up to the upside. But, cool to see. Ugh! Ugh! I think it's about that time, no? To probably hop off and go do something. Go enjoy your time. Go for a walk, listen to a podcast, learn more about trading. Figure out what you need to do for your, risk management. A lot of times, bro, I'm telling you, a lot of times I'll go for, like, if I have nothing to do, I'll go for a walk. And I just, like, either I'll listen to a trading podcast or I'll think about trading. Like, I'll think about risk management and what I could do better. Like, I'm telling you, I think about trading a lot. Bro, I'm looking to be... I'm serious about this. I'm like... Even though... I feel like trading, you never get to a point where you have to stop learning. You have to constantly be improving in trading. Every loss you take, you journal, you see what you can improve on. If you can change, you can fix something, great. If you could fix nothing, then part of the data, part of the statistics, it's fine too. But you gotta be like a hawk. You gotta be... This is one of the toughest industries. I mean, so... But again, I think you have to have a love for it. Like, I think you have to be obsessed with trading to become good at it. I mean, that goes with not just trading. That goes with any industry. If you're not obsessed with the industry you're in, I mean, can you really be good at it? Because you have to be obsessed with learning about it and getting better and better and better and have this mindset of like, oh, I'm gonna get this. And it does take a while. I mean, it took me 3 years to get this. So, and that was me doing this every single day. Not saying it's going to take 3 years for everybody, but, it's not easy whatsoever. And the thing I like about trading, so like for me, right? I have my rules set in place. I have my risk management rules set in place, all this stuff. And I think about this to myself. I'm like, the only thing that can destroy my trading career, legitimately, the only thing that can destroy my trading career is me. That's honestly what I love about trading. I am the only one who could destroy my trading career. As long as I follow my rules, stick to my plan, I will be fine. But if I don't do that, that's a different story. And I've made those rules set in place so that I can last in the game. So I don't get, by one bad losing streak, I don't get, eliminated from the game. Looks like it's about to pop off. Possibly. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't think so, because I don't think there's enough volume. I don't think there's enough volume for it to pop off. But I don't know. Who knows? Maybe. Market does a lot of times where I'm just like, oh, it's not gonna do that, and it ends up doing it. So, but like sentiment wise, we're above that 5-minute range. We're above view up. We're in bullish territory. So I wouldn't say it's the smartest thing to try to be shorting up here, personally, especially us above the 5-minute range. Looks like it wants to go up. And we haven't taken out that high. That was a double top, if you notice. This was a double top. We have not taken out that high yet. So it's trying. Best advice to be not taken out. I didn't hear what you say. You have to have rules. You have to have rules for yourself. Your risk management rules. Obviously, with prop firms, it's different. I'm talking about if you ever, like, if you ever trade, like, live account, right? Prop firms are different because you could fail a prop firm eval and then you could just restart and pass an eval or a funded account. You could reset and pass it, and that's different, right? There's a different thing. But in terms of actual live trading with your own live account, you have to, like, if you ever get there, you have to have very strict rules for yourself to last in it. So, like, those rules, like, I have sizing down rules. My rules for sizing down protect me. I know they protect me so that I can last as long as I can. And like, mathematically, my sizing down rules for, like, say, a live account, and I don't have the live account yet. I'm starting it in January, but I'm already implementing rules and stuff. With my sizing down rules, and here's the crazy part. I can risk 10% per trade, and another person would be like, dude, you're an idiot for risking 10% per trade. But let's put it this way. With my sizing down rules and sizing up rules that I've implemented, it is nearly impossible for me to, like, blow my account. So, as long as I follow those rules, and like I said, rules are different from every strategy for every person, but you got to make rules for yourself to protect yourself. But you also, I feel like you also, even with prop firms, right? With prop firms, you don't want to be the trader. I mean, do you want to be the trader who just, like, rinses accounts? First of all, prop firms don't like that. They can technically ban you for that if they find out you're doing that. But, like, do you want to be that trader? I don't know. It's me personally, I don't. We just broke out the high. Boom! We just, yeah, that's great. We'll see if it's interesting if it takes out this high or it actually displaces. Man. Short right now, I would be very careful with a short. I mean, I would just be careful in general. Like, I can't tell you short or not because, you know, I don't know if there could be a strategy up here that, you know, that's someone's strategy that they've backtested and it works, you know, and they know it. So it's very hard to say, like, one thing I would recommend is never trade something you haven't backtested. That's one thing I would recommend. Don't trade something that you haven't backtested and you don't know the data behind it. Like, that gives you confidence. If you've backtested something and you know the data that it has an 80% win rate, 70% win rate, you're more confident to take the trade. But make sure you have a strategy. You know exactly where, you know, you're not just trying to short just because it's at a high. Like, that doesn't work. It may work a couple times here and there and may work for a short period of time, but over the long period of time, you just taking shorts at highs, I mean. This NASDAQ. I mean, for this, for this setup down here, the target would have been, for me, the target would have been body candle highs right here, right before that pivot. So hate this market. Yeah, that's the thing, is like one person hates a market, the other person. Today's market has been pretty good for my strategy. It's just, like I said, the first one, I really wanted to take this first setup. Didn't get the entry. The second one, I was very hesitant to take the second one because I just don't know the data behind the second one. I always take the first one. Higher probability for me. Second one. But it did work out today. This was literally the perfect entry for the day. But I mean, if it failed to break out like this and this happened, right? If this candle right here closed inside the range and then this happened, I 100% would have took this trade. If that was the first setup and not the second one. But that's pretty much it. So we're breaking out now. We've tested those 5-minute highs. Now we're holding them and we're breaking out the top, which is pretty surprising, to be honest, considering, I mean, what? It's 2 hours till market closes. Is it really going to start ripping to the upside 2 hours before it closes? Pretty crazy. It decided to break out 2 hours later, hour and a half later. We're pushing, pushing highs, so but be careful. I mean, it could reverse, so I'm just protect yourself if you are in a long or something, Don't be greedy. Don't be greedy, especially with today market closing at 1 o'clock. Do not be greedy. You don't want to give back profits. You don't want to be in profit and then end up getting stopped out. So if you have a plan, just stick to your plan. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna be hopping off. I'm gonna go and go eat. What are you looking for? Nothing anymore. There were 2 setups for my strategy, but first one didn't get filled up on. It didn't tap into the imbalance. Second one I didn't take just because I don't know the data behind the second setup. I very rarely get 2 setups in one day. So I was very hesitant about taking the second one. So sadly I didn't take the second one, but that was an amazing trade. Hindsight 2020. But there were 2 setups. I didn't take them, but as of now it's 11 o'clock, so I'm gonna be hopping off. Market closes in 2 hours, so I'm gonna call it a weekend and go into my weekend happy. So that being said, y'all enjoy your weekend. Be careful, protect yourself, don't go on tilt. Take your profits, take base hits, call it a weekend, go into your weekend happy. Don't go into your weekend with a blown account. If you don't see your setup, don't take anything. Only take something when you see your own setup. It doesn't matter what other people tell you. Just follow your own plan and rules that you've set in place. Again, rules are there to protect you, not to hinder you. It's to keep you in this game long term. It's to make you a good trader. Every business has every business has rules, so you as a trader should also have rules for yourself. And rules are different for everyone's strategy. So yeah, that being said, take this weekend to do maybe some back testing, listen to a podcast. Experts, there's a lot of, podcasts, Words of Wisdom, Titans of Tomorrow. They have a lot of professional traders, and I'm not talking about like influencer traders you see on TikTok or whatever. I mean, they interview traders that have managed, hundreds of millions of dollars in capital, and they give some really good advice to people. So listen to podcasts, back test, do all that. Every step to becoming a better trader. So I'll see you guys Monday. I'll be back at 9:30 on Monday. Hopefully we get some good price action next week, but we'll see. Enjoy y'all weekend. Peace out. See you on Monday.